Some people see auras. They will watch Esther as Abraham is pouring through her, and they will be amazed at the light show, while others will look and say, what is it that you are seeing? I don't see anything. It is a very common thing for someone to know that there is a presence in the room, an angel or a mother. Our friend felt her mother behind her. And just because others in the room could not see does not mean that there was not something there that she was sensing. Very often, someone will catch something out of the corner of their eye, something very real. But when they look, they do not see it, and then they assume they were imagining it, where what was happening is looking straight on at something is using your physical eyes in the physical way of focusing them that you've become accustomed to, which usually only lets you see physical stuff that you've trained your eye to see. While what you see peripherally is a softer vision, and you often then can interpret energy in different ways. So, this time-space reality, this is something that you can see and feel and hear. In other words, it feels real. It is reality. And you say, so this is real, while the ghost that I saw probably isn't. And we say, you cannot say that one is realer than the other. They are both interpretations. This is nothing more than an interpretation. It just feels realer because more people over longer time have interpreted it. And because there's so much agreement on this reality. So then the seer, who is able to interpret a reality that others do not see, is often hanged or burned at the stake or touted as evil, because he has learned to use his interpreters more broadly or more specifically. So, that is the basis. Now what do you want?
Right. That was good. So when I was young, before 2 years old, I remember really wanting to be able to perceive the way my parents perceived, or even longer before that. And I remember seeing black blobs in the room with my parents, and they were repulsive, and I commanded them to leave the room, and it didn't work. It seemed like they were feeding off of my parents. And so my question is mankind effective at an unconscious level by low vibrational, non-physical beings?
Yes. Now, we talk about how there's not a source of darkness, and we're not
Right.
kidding you about that.
Right.
Now, we're going to approach this because we really want to get it into the proper way of looking at this. Do you see energy at all? Sometimes?
Yes, I feel it.
As you look at Esther's body and try to look through her, rather than focusing on one of her features, soften your vision. You may be a bit close. We will step back just a little bit. Sometimes it is easier if there's a little greater distance. And look at her, or better still, through her. Pretend that there is a spot on the wall behind her that you would like to see. And so you're softening your vision as your eyes reach her, and you're looking right through her, so that your point of focus is 20 feet behind her. You get a sense of what we're talking about? And as your point of focus is 20 feet behind her, it will soften your vision as your vision approaches where she is. Raise your eyes just a little bit. Look more to the center of her. Now, as you are looking at her, begin to notice a sort of energy around her. Don't be alarmed if you don't see it, but just relax and see if you do not see energy. It's sort of like a shadow, but instead of the absence of light, it is the presence of light. Getting a look at it. Goose it up just a little bit. Now, what this is, can you see it? Not really?
Not with certainty.
Now, what happens is, just keep looking softly. Just take your time, and no big thing if you see it or not. It is energy that is there. You might catch a glimpse of it. You might not. But just keep looking at it. Keep watching. Just keep looking at Esther. And we'll goose it up just a little bit here. And what it is, it's just energy leakage. But it is energy that is actually visible if you soften your eyes. Now, as we move from it, sometimes you can still see it. In other words, because it is energy. Now, what happens is, as you are little, and you are able to see that. In other words, it is your way of life. You look at the tree and you see that. You look at your own hands and see that. In other words, when you are littler, there's all kinds of that. And we believe that what was happening to you is you began to decipher visually the stronger presence of energy or the absence of energy. Now, in the same way that as we were chatting on things, we were talking about source energy, what was flowing through us was light force or God force or whatever it is you're wanting to call it. And as we chewed longer and it actually congealed, it actually became something that was decipherable by the eye. In the same way, if someone is chewing on things that they're worried about, if they are upset about things, so that they are gathering around them energies that are denser and fuller of that, fuller of contradiction or contrast, someone whose eyes were sensitive to the light would interpret the absence of that as well.